What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more I cannot change the scoreboard action in the right-hand corner of the map. On the left-hand top of the screen as well is playing as Loki, and he is one Hagrid, the Great George, affectionately known as. Anyways, in the left-hand corner of the map, he's got no relation to George. Maybe George of the Jungle or something like that, because they're swinging from tree to tree. Anyways, his opponent in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as the Red Zeus, is Singularity 1, because it makes sense. Like a singularity, like a single larity, that would be a 1, right? Anyways, he's going to be playing some Zeus. We're on the map Megalopolis, and we've got a game for you here. This is going to be a fun one. I haven't got to see a whole lot of Loki, and I can guarantee you that we are in for a very, very special game here. Hagrid has got a really, really interesting style of Age Mythology. He's always been a player who is incredibly creative with strategy and all that stuff. I remember watching him back in the Voobly days and the Legacy days, and he would often come up with some really interesting ways to find advantages over people. And I think a lot of players forget that once upon a time, when he was playing a lot more, he was actually getting fourth. Like, he has several fourth place finishes in some incredibly stacked tournaments. So a player who should never be underestimated, for sure. Now, Singularity, on the other hand, is I think he is just a Zeus main. I don't have a whole lot of information on this guy, but he's been grinding the Age Mythology ladder. He's been coming up through the ranks, and you know, as time goes by, you must remember this after time is gone. New players are going to come up onto the scene, and I want to be watching their development, because it's always so exciting when you see a new player just show up and just start, you know, like getting it, and you're just like, oh, I can't just beat this guy anymore. This guy's got it, and then they obviously get better at me, and then they go into the next thing, and they go dominate the tournaments and all the other good stuff. There's been a lot of that action over the past couple years where I'm just like, I'll just stay at my level. We're good here. And then the good players come and they go on to great things, you know. They go on to great things, as you do see the Jason coming out for Singularity. Let's take a quick look at the relics and see if there's anything here that's going to be changing our perspectives on this game. We've got the Ria's Crown here. This one's going to be making Town Centers a little bit cheaper, always nice. Plus also giving you a little bit of favor income. We've got Harmonious Necklace over here as well, with the plus 10% of base for the gold gather rate. In the top right hand corner, we've got Arrows of Heracles, which is increasing the ranged soldiers and heroes damage there a little bit. And at the top of the map, we've got Pandora's Box, my favorite of all of the relics, making myth units a little bit more accessible as they become a little bit cheaper with the favor. Now, Hagrid says, hang on, I'm playing against Greek. May as well just go Forseti here and take the... Whoop. Hello there, Mr. Rhino. Did not want to react there for a little bit, but he is coming in now. But yeah, Forseti against the Greek makes a lot of sense. You get access to some faster Hersa. You get access to the trolls. Both of those things are really, really important. Now, we are seeing Singularity going through Athena, which oftentimes is kind of the most standard way to approach playing against Loki, though I do think that Hermes works, gives you a little bit of an out against flaming weapons, and also the Centaur are really, really strong right now. So you can use those to your advantage, as you also get a pretty quick Heracles over here, and it does kind of look like we might be seeing Singularity going for a faster Town Center. This is often not the most standard play in this matchup, and it does allow the Loki player to open full Hersa. So while we're seeing Hagrid building himself a longhouse here, he doesn't actually need to build any Berserks, any Thrown Axemen, any Herdmen out of this longhouse for now. He just build it and you kind of leave it there, right? Just in case there's going to be hoplites or something, you need to go into raiding cavalry, Thrown Axemen. But he might be building stuff, I don't know. But nonetheless, if you get your Great Hall, you get your Temple, and your opponent does end up going for the Town Center and finishing it, which may happen, may not. If you're fast enough to get over, you can get some damage done. But nonetheless, you build those Hersa, and they do kind of help out on the economy a little bit, because they're all gathering favor, plus they're able to run around, do damage, get more favor. So you're getting yourself a significant amount of extra resources to make up for the fact you're not going for a town center. So it does make some sense as the upgrades are coming through as well. Singularity will be getting this town center up uncontested, it seems, as, yeah, it is a little scary. A little bit scary, I say, for the Loki player to kind of leave their base and go scouting around here. But I do think it's really, really worth it, especially if you're going to be going for Eyes in the Forest really early on, getting out on that map and just seeing what's happening so you have some idea of what you can do. Nice snipe on the Tusker Bots, a huge amount of favor now coming through for that one. As... yeah, Singularity finishing up with his chickens. He's got Zebra back here. Really, really nice amount of food on that position. We do have the Bull Minotaur technology in. This one has been nerfed ever so slightly. I think it's now down to, from 5.4 to 5.2 speed. So it's still really good. Building Minotaur still works, but you have to be a little bit more careful. Another unit that did lose some speed, so the interaction between the two of them is still kind of similar, is the Hersa with Hall of Thanes. Now only 5% extra speed for those Hersa. Still very, very potent, still can be used, but they only go up to like I believe it's 4.8 or 4.9 speed at the moment. So there's that, but Singularity now throwing down Military Academy, going to try and deny that one over here. And he can start looking for some raids now with those Bull Minotaur. They're not very useful to defend against the Hersa here, so why not just send them off and look for some raids. If your opponent's on one town center, you often can get a huge amount of damage done onto them. Like, if they come and like hit a raid on you and you hit a raid on them, if you're the two town center player, right? Then you've done more damage to your opponent, percentage-wise, right? So that's always a good idea. As Hoplite Minotaur seems to be the unit composition for the moment for Singularity, as the Longhouses are coming down. Hagrid does sniff this out a little bit going into the Throwing Axeman already. There's no rush here, in my opinion. In fact, it might actually be even better to just go more Hersa and grab this technology Cave Troll and start going in onto actual trolls as an answer for everything. But nonetheless, a couple of villagers getting sniped down here. Nice little raid to slow down Singularity, get him off that food, and do all the good stuff. This isn't a valid hunt source. And look at this. If you take a look at how Eyes in the Forest works, he sees the villagers moving back over here. So he knows they're here. There's always going to be an opportunity to move through here for Hagrid. And as he leaves, just look at how long this line of sight lasts. This is really, really important to have in the back of your mind when playing against Loki. If they've got Eyes in the Forest, you got to know that they basically see where you're going. So you got to be so careful. Villagers moving up to the Zebra here for Hagrid as he pulls back. And where to next is the big question for him. If he goes to the next age, it does look like he's going for what we like to call in the business a semi-fast heroic. Semi-fast heroic just means build some units and then go to the heroic age. Very, very potent. This has been a classic strategy in Age of Mythology since like 2000, and I want to say it came to popularity maybe in like 2005 would be my guess. It's like some serious strategies of semi-fast heroic, especially for Norse players. But yeah, it's been around forever. Very, very powerful as the Minotaur's charging forward, getting sent away there, and the villager and the healing spring gets dropped down to give a little bit of health back here, as we've also got arrows of Heracles dropping into the temple. And Singularity just gonna have to pump units out for the time being. Now there's probably an argument that he could probably, if he sees all these units retreating back home and he's got these Minotaurs out, he can start splitting these up, going for multi-raids on the main base, trying to get in, hit these villagers here, hit these dwarves here. If he can find these villagers, obviously, that's primo. He's searching. He is searching far and wide right now. He does know that there's potential for zebras to be getting gathered over here, but he didn't go and check it out. Goes to the bottom corner, swinging around to try and hit the wood line. He does see that there's a wood line there. As the army congregating into the middle of the map, we've got Longhouse, Great Hall, and the Minotaur are now in, getting the first significant bit of damage onto Hagrid here. As the Minotaur's sending everything flying. Looks like Hagrid gets 2 villages, 3 villages taken out here. Technically, this one here is not going to be able to do a whole lot. Stuck inside the forest there for quite some time. You can just leave it there, no problems. But this is going to be queuing Hagrid to charge in and get some serious damage onto Singularity, because he has, like, what is this? I want to say it's like 12 population here. 4 times 3. I think these are only 3 pop. They're only 2 pop. Of course, you're playing as Zeus, so you get the population up. I totally never registered that these are only 2 population. That's kind of good. Like, obviously, it doesn't mean anything unless you're at full pop. Right? If you're at full pop, then the fact that those things cost 2 population means something. So you just have to get to full pop with those Minotaur, and they're really, really, really strong. But he's coming back in with these ones. He's going to be able to find the dwarves on this side as well. The Herso need to... Oh, no, never mind. Singularity kind of missing it, trying to get onto the back of this army here as Flaming Weapons gets dropped down. There is a restoration for Singularity here as the Minotaur onto the back line. The Herso pulling back in, now getting the damage onto those Minotaurs. Differential in military here, very, very close. As those Thrown Axemen retreating back. And will Hagrid be able to control this one? Those Herso aren't onto the right units there. The Einherry comes through, and it looks to me like Singularity manages to win this fight, and Hagrid has to pull all the way back. But now he has to defend this gold mine as well. He still has a little bit of Flaming Weapons remaining. The Minotaurs are slowly falling, and Singularity actually says, all right, that's enough of that. Let's pull back and regroup. This gives Hagrid a little bit more time to get some units out. He is kind of thrown a lot of advantage away here now, or potential advantage away here, taking that fight in the manner that he did. He needed to take out those Minotaur, and he just couldn't quite get the Herso onto the right units there. And Hagrid pulls back into the main base. We've got that Dionysus coming through for Singularity. And now the calm before the storm. Now, Singularity doesn't want to do anything right now because, well, he's going to the Heroic Age. Technically speaking, he's got a gigantic advantage here. His army is huge, but no sense to rush it. Whenever you're ahead, you know, the mantra is get more ahead. So, what does he do? Well, Heroic Age, copper armor, copper weapons, and looking for something else now. Looking for something else to take out. As the Minotaur moving up to the top position of the map here. Does he know? He's got an inkling, and his inkling is absolutely correct. Oh, never mind. Now it's in. He's going to see all those villagers on this wood line. Now, the Minotaur's only got 95 HP, so turning around and just shanking here could be an option. The Dwarves will be attempting to pull away, keeping the villagers alive and well, as Singularity kind of misses that one. Unfortunate for him there. As heavy infantry to come through. What Hagrid probably wants here, ideally, is a fight, bronze to get cast, and just be able to retreat away. That's ideally what he's going to be wanting here. But Singularity, he actually did notice, and he's back over onto this wood line. Hagrid trying to be a little bit too cheeky with it. Oh, never mind. Excuse me, Mr. Minotaur. So I realize there is a issue of raiding cavalry that you're having to deal with right now, but you missed, yep. Alrighty, that's, okay. And now the raiding cavalry retreat away, all the Minotaur in hot pursuit, and Hagrid gets away with murder. The police have been alerted that he has been being very, very naughty, and he didn't get punished. So the law enforcement agency is going to be after him soon. As the town center getting targeted down here, the Minotaurs onto the back line, not quite able to finish off that town center. Bronze down, and Hagrid says, that is exactly what I wanted. Let me get out of here. I will run all the way back to my main base if I need to. Dwarves can retreat away as well, but the Minotaur coming through, attacking the Ox Guard. Unfortunately there, only a couple of Dwarves getting sent into the army. As the Battle Ball, a really, really nice disengagement tool here, actually. You can use it to buck those units back and give yourself more of an opportunity to retreat back. But there's still going to be 15 seconds remaining of bronze. But Singularity says, nope, not today. I'm not falling for that one. I'm not going in there. I'm going to come back and clean up all your buildings. As the Hearser for Hagrid, they can start looking for raids over here if they want. They can come back and try and deal with some myth units on this position as well. But all the longhouses to get taken out for the time being. Oh, throwing those Ursa away, diving in onto this position. Not ideal in the slightest, but the Thrown Axemen are now up to heavy upgrades. Does not have that ballistics technology just yet, though it is pre-queued. A very, very necessary technology when dealing with those 4.9 speed heavy hoplites there. But I don't know if Singularity actually repaired this up or what, but he got back 16. I think it was lower than 16. I think he only repaired it to 1611, which is kind of interesting. Anyways, now the trolls are coming out. And I think this is what you think about when you're like, okay, how do I beat this army? Obviously, Thrown Axemen are great. Obviously, Hearser are great. But the troll at an inn gives yourself that disengagement. When the hoplites get onto the Thrown Axemen, when the bull minotaurs get close, you can shoot them with huge amounts of damage. Take a look at the damage that they do. 45 pierce times 2. So 90 pierce with that boulder toss onto, is that how math works? 90 pierce onto the bull minotaur. So you're doing the 45, basically 45 true damage onto the Minotaur at this moment, right? So very, very good. As a bolt there does come in. The Battle Ball also, all of this displacement, this is so absolutely huge. Great engagement here now for Hagrid, as those Thrown Axemen don't even need to get that shoot and scoot in because of all of this displacement. Another troll there sending units flying, but so too do the Minotaur come through, and they're now starting to get some serious damage done. But for the first time in this game, Hagrid does manage to take an incredibly good fight here. And all the hoplites falling, and now we're starting to see Heavier Pacifist coming through. Now, while Heavier Pacifists, they are better against Throwing Axemen, Heavier Pacifists have less HP than a hoplite, I think. I could be wrong on that, actually. I could be lying. Hang on, let me just double check. If I was a hoplite, I'd have 192 versus 146. They've got more HP, effective HP, against the hoplites do. So, technically speaking, while the Pacifist is doing more damage, the Throwing Axeman actually cleans these up faster. So what Singularity is going to need is a really good engagement with these Pacifists. The better option against Throwing Axeman is going to be either Peltast, Toxotes, maybe even a Hippias. I don't think I've ever really made Hippias work, but technically they've also got bonus damage versus the Throwing Axeman as well. But definitely Peltast here, especially with those Goaty coming in as well. But nonetheless, Singularity on 3 town centers and a dream here. Hillfort getting taken down. There's Hagrid now making his way over onto this left-hand corner of the map. Portable Ram to take down the town center of Singularity here. And it looks like, oh, villagers moving in. They're going to take a huge amount of damage as well. Trying to repair this one back up as the army coming in from the east there. The Goaty getting some great haul up onto this spot. Got to be careful with that one there because those are very important. Nice little shoot and scoot. There is a long delay on that shoot and scoot action there, so you can get a lot of distance before you shoot again. As he does manage to take out a Hydra as well. The Throwing Action have to be so obscenely careful at them. And once those Pacifists are on top of him, it's almost lights out. But technically speaking, the Minotaurs aren't helping things, sending the Throwing Axemen flying here. Plus also, the Goaties, while they don't technically counter those pacifists, they do pretty good against them. They do pretty good against them. It's kind of like a Peltask versus a pacifist or something. It's all of those myth units now get cleaned up. And Hagrid yet again finds himself on the better end of the fight. Now we're starting to see some Toxotes. That's the unit that is needed. He's got them up to heavy. We're seeing some portable rams to come through, sniping down a temple, slowing that favor in. Looked like Singularity didn't want to use Restoration in that last fight. I think it would have been a very, very nice usage for him. He does have that 111 favor as well as villagers getting chased off to the corner of the map. This is a nice little distraction from Singularity to allow him to get his resources back, or not even his resources back, his population back. But he will be losing the majority of these. And also, some spicy, that battle ball, not sure what's happening. Some spicy there from Hagrid with the wall delaying, and also the battle ball bucking these ones back in, all the villagers down. And that is a great amount of trading. Now it's only a 20 villager differential here. And as much as like a 20 villager differential means something, in the grand scheme of things, income is just income. How you use that income is everything, right? You can still find yourself getting comebacks here with good play. And also, you have to remember, well, Loki does have a little bit of economic bonus of himself in a random Valkyrie here or there. When you think about what a 20 villager lead is, it's about 1,200 resources a minute. But you're getting a huge amount of fighting happening, well, you could find yourself getting roughly 1,200 resources a minute worth of myth unit spawn. Very, very practically. We already saw a 470 resource spawn there in the Valkyrie, and yet again another fight going the wayside of Hagrid. He very smartly starts to get himself out. Some raiding cavalry over onto this side. The villagers are just having fun on this side, just saying, well, we're just gonna, we're not a part of this war. We're just trying to make ends meet here, really. Like, it's like, you know, you've got never mind. I've managed to afford an axe and a bear pelt, and I'm gonna, yep, you can leave now. Bye bye. We're not sharing anymore. I was about to start going on a rant about how, you know, villagers, they're just your average Joe, but these Norsemen, they're a different breed. Never mind. We move on from that one. Hagrid probably needs a town center. He's at full population. He's got resources. He could go Mythic Age here if he wants to just cut everything, get rid of that copper weapons, cut all of the production, try and utilize a Nidhogg or something for his advantage. But you take a look at the military difference here, and that's the key. I've seen this time and time again in Age of Mythology games, where the player down on town centers is behind on military. Sorry, behind on, or equal on military or whatever, but behind on villagers, right? And then they just have all the military. So as long as he just keeps fighting here, he's kind of fine. He has to take good fights. Now splitting up, looking for some raids. We do see a cheeky little tower onto this gold mine. Hagrid's got himself a couple of gold mines left over here. This one is expired, but he's got this one over here as well. And also still in the middle. So definitely some options here as the hoplites are starting to clean up some of those forward buildings. Now a second town center to get even more military units in. But the income not quite there to support just yet. Where the advantage for Singularity should be coming here is being able to get tech. And he is doing that. He's getting himself bronze armor, irrigation, fortified. Nope, that's the wrong player. He's getting nothing. He's getting nothing. He needs to get tech here. Whether that be the Mythic Age, whether that be more upgrades. We'll take a quick look at this as he's charging in. He does have full bronze, so probably not much more tech he can get there. But nonetheless, the army charging in here. Toxotes are getting a hefty amount of damage done. As the Goaty getting cleaned up. But a fairly hefty hold here for Hagrid for the time being. And those, I mean, a couple of Huskar are not going to go astray here as he does queue those up. And now Singularity needs to retreat back. Now, the bonus here for Singularity is he's got so much income. So he can just replace this army very, very simply and then take another fight. That's kind of how it works, right? There's the Toxotes and the Odysseus pulling back. Hagrid's got to be careful not to take bad fights here because he is behind on economies. If you take a bad fight right now, you lose the game. being behind. So you have to keep taking good fights. This is where the advantage lies. But he is getting himself that... Whoop, never mind. There was a third town center coming up, and the builder has decided to go on strike and say, I want to join the war effort instead. Probably over here, just hanging out. Building is not for everyone, and that's fine. As now Singularity has managed to claim himself back his gold mine at the top. Not only is this like here to stop enemy villagers from grabbing that gold mine like they were, but also it's a nice gather point, a garrison point for enemy villagers. The units just kind of decide to run into the center of the fight. Not really doing a whole lot here. As Haggard yet again, great control with the Huskarl, getting them onto the back, gets a Einher respawn, throw an Axeman, going to town on all of those infantry units. Those Godi, unfortunately, not so useful in these fights now that the Myth units aren't coming through. But Singularity has got himself bronze, got himself restoration. He's got himself both of them almost. In a couple of seconds here, he's going to be able to bronze restoration, which is very, very scary for Hagrid. And now we are seeing some great Jarls to come in. This is my favorite unit to build when my Greek opponents start making Hypaspist. It's my anti-Hypaspist unit, my anti-Axeman unit. Now, if they've got themselves counter Cav and Hypaspist, then things get a bit strange and you have to start thinking about, well, what's a really powerful like single unit comp that can just break through all of that. But when your opponent goes things like Hypaspist Toxotes or Hypaspist Peltast, I don't even think I care. I don't even need Thundering Hooves here. Like, I'm very, very happy to just say, let's make some great Jarls. That's what I reckon. And that might be a shocker to everyone out there who thinks the Jarls aren't very good, but that's the unit. That's what their role is. It's to help kill off or help tank for those, to deal with those Hypaspists, to deal with those Toxos, to deal with those Peltast. And Hagrid says, well, hang on. If I lose this position, it's not the end of the world. But if my opponent loses this gold mine, what other gold mine does he have? There's a hill fort here. He's mining this gold mine. Over here as well, this gold mine, well, I mean, he's going to be able to go onto it if he loses the town center, so Hagrid has to come back. But a great raid onto this side, and now Singularity is hurting. Singularity is hurting a lot. He can sell food for a little bit. It does cost giving him 50 goldish for the moment here. But I think more importantly, coming over here, dealing with this hill fort, grabbing this gold mine, setting up his own fortress here, that's going to be paramount for Singularity's success. But he does pick up through Hera right now. He's allowed his economy to give him that option. But Hagrid's now in front on villagers. So, and he's also been trading really well thus far. So he's in a great spot. Lightning Storm's going to hurt. There's still also Restoration and Bronze to deal with. But Hell is on the way as well for Hagrid here. As Hagrid says, no gold for you, sir. I'm going to come back over here. We're getting you off that gold mine. Singularity really struggling for this. Does he have a trade route? Yes. Does have a trade route. The best possible one that he has without dealing with this wall and getting into this corner or whatever is probably over here, coming up to this town center. But totally fine to go there for the time being as the villagers do pull back. Another hill fort to come up onto this spot. And look at this here from Singularity. I love this little play. Spread formation against the trolls. Really smart. Bronze gets dropped down. Hagrid's got to get out of here. His army incredibly slow. He can utilize this hill fort to help him survive here. Garrison micro, going to be everything. Restoration as well. Maybe overkill, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Hagrid choosing to stay in here. Population dropping. Lightning Storm. Hell, a little bit more time needed before those come through. As the Hypaspis break through the back Godies, their population differential looking really, really nice here for Singularity. He's in a great spot. There's huge amounts of resources, however, for Hagrid. There is no problems for him to rebuild this army if he's got the infrastructure. 7 longhouses, 3 great halls, 2 hill forts. This hill fort, not the most useful, but probably can get a couple of units out. However, Lightning Storm also in. There's now the Nidhogg to come through, and this can be a big, big difference maker. Obviously, Lightning Storm is going to be huge as well as the Nidhogg shoots and misses. I very rarely see the Nidhogg special be successful, but sometimes I've seen it be incredibly successful as the army is going to start melting here. Heroes needed. The answer for Nidhogg is garrison. You need towers, you need fortress, you need all of that stuff on your vulnerable positions as Hagrid's like, all right, I'm going to use this time now to retreat away. You're going to get your heroes out. That's fine. I'm going to just play a distraction game while I'm rebuilding all my units, getting all my technologies. Fire Giants also coming into the mix as there isn't a restoration now for a couple of seconds here. Got 26 seconds. There will be favor most likely available there as the Nidhogg coming through. The heroes able to erase the remaining, the remnants of that Nidhogg's HP as it gets taken out. Nice little find there for Singularity. Lightning Storm gets dropped down. The army here for Hagrid can simply just retreat back. So both players taking a hefty amount of damage in this one here. A hefty amount of damage in this one. But after all is said and done, the game continues. Trading blow for blow continuously in this game. As the Goatee gets cleaned up, town center, villagers retreating away here. And now the three heroes, they say, can we get on top of those Fire Giants? Because these Fire Giants, they hurt. Great control here from Singularity for the time being. The Fire Giants, unfortunately, turning around, targeting down the heroes, not getting that damage off. All three of them cleaned up in an instant. Great control from Singularity, but he is fighting against champion units here underneath the town center as a Mountain Giant spawning. It's 84 military population to 48 at the end of that fight. Champion upgrades now coming through as Singularity back in onto his Toxotes Hypaspis production, trying to get everything coming back in. It's 4 town centers to 3 town centers at the moment. There is no fortified town centers for Singularity here, and it's looking like Hagrid is going to be able to control another gold mine. He's got to be careful though, because this gold mine's also expired. This one over here is expired. Let's just call that expired. There's only 1730 gold here and 5,761 gold. So either he has to finish the game in the next couple of seconds here, minutes, or he's got to go start a trade route and start a trade route very soon. Wouldn't be a bad idea to just take a berserk, build 3 markets, trade route, and start going for it right here, right now, as the army charges in. And the other thing is, as you keep trading with your opponent, this is where things get difficult in these positions. It's the Mountain Giant from Hagrid. Gets taken out. Jarls to come through. There's a nice... Oh, I love this little portable ram, especially... Well, I guess against the Hypaspis, it's not that... Never mind, I don't love the portable ram at all. If you could throw the portable ram somehow right underneath those Toxotes, it can be a very big tank there. However, the front line here for Hagrid doing a fantastic job, allowing those Thrown Axemen to get everything done. Bellerophon coming in, cleaning up, tanking for ages here against those Thrown Axemen, but ends up getting taken out. Hagrid's army of 144 units, too much for Singularity here, and he does manage to find himself breaking through, going to be able to take down the town center. I don't think he's going to be needing this trade route here as the Hypaspis getting cleaned up. This town center going to go down. There's still also 1,500 gold there as well, and Singularity doesn't want to partake anymore in this tomfoolery that Hagrid is partaking to. He says, I'm out, and that's the game. An incredibly exciting game here, to be honest, here from both these players. Very back and forth, lots and lots of fights. We take a quick look at this statistics here. Military, 399 to 328 killed in the end. Let's take a quick look at this resource total and see if it tells a tale. You can see, yes, Singularity well and truly in front on resources, but he just could not take a winning fight. Now, this has got nothing to... This is probably more to do with just Hagrid's control than anything else. There was one really bad fight. A lot of the times when you get that flaming weapons and you're just like, let's click it and let's go, that's not actually enough. You've still got to take a good fight. You still got a micro. Still important. If you don't, then, and your opponent does, and which Singularity did in that moment, great control of the Minotaurs back then you're going to lose that fight, right? That's kind of how it works. And then some great defense with retreating away from bronze and all the other good stuff, and just chaos all the way. And you can even see over here at this point, if we take a quick look at, like, this is the military value, but if you take a look at total population at 26, whatever it is, total population, wait, apparently this is in favor of Hagrid somehow. Wait, settlements? Was this, maybe this was a little bit later. Yes, that was when the 3 town centers came in for Hagrid. So before then, like, you can see how things are very close here at 4496, but the population at 25 minutes or something. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see, like, huge value advantage for Singularity, but a lot of that wasn't in military units. And that's the big thing. It's like, that's the question. And that's how you have to be thinking when you're playing. Okay, I've got the 100 villages. My opponent doesn't. So if he's at full population, what does that mean? Well, that means he's got more military than me. So I can't actually take those fights. You have to play more defensive when you're actually, even though you're 3 to 1 town center advantage or whatever you want to call it, they've got less stuff than you. They haven't been producing the villages. So you have to pull back. You have to defend. You've got to get yourself the tech advantage and allow your economy to carry you across the finish line. What Singularity did here was he just kept on taking fight after fight after fight, down military. And while he can replace the military completely fine, Hagrid wasn't losing those fights nearly as hard as, or losing as many units nearly as much as Singularity was. And that's why he stays in this game. So there's something there. There's something to take away from this game, something to learn from. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.